next to where Gilbert Gottfried is performing at
Yes.
the Improv or
Yes.
Improv.
Aha.
As you would say, yes. We've had some fun. We've learned a little bit about our friend Billy Corben. Apparently, Billy was a child actor, which explains so much. A troubled youth.
Mostly the drug documentaries.
You're like that Dana Plato or something, aren't you?
Oh, God.
Stay with me, Gilbert.
Only much more of a pulse.
No, she's not
Who's
alive.
the worst person you work with?
That's a good.
Who's an alcoholic?
Today or...
Yeah.
Aside from
no,
this
we
show.
know that.
Aside from this show, Gilbert.
The worst person. Oh, wow. I haven't worked with that many bad people.
That's a good thing.
How about you? You're the guy who's working with everybody, Gilbert.
Yeah.
You're one of the most respected
He's still
comics
on
in
me.
America
He's
today.
still-
Yeah,
you
yeah.
haven't distracted
I want to
this
see.
at all. I've never really thought about that before, to tell you the truth. The worst person that whoever thinks about something like that, I feel like you block stuff like that out, you know?
I can tell you, man. I worked for a boss he had a deal with the radio station where he would call the hotline to the studio. Every radio station has a hotline that they could get through, not the request line. And if you didn't answer it on the second ring, you were fired. So you would be in panic mode as a kid. I'm a 20-year-old kid on the radio in college, and I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Well, I've got one. We had a distributor on our first movie. Our first documentary went to the Sundance Film Festival, and we're the youngest filmmakers ever at that time to go to Sundance.
And we're the first person that ever interviewed you.
That's right. Ron. Absolutely. You had me on before Sundance and after Sundance.
So we had you and Brad Meltzer's careers. Yeah. All of us can forget.
That was like 11, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I was 6 years old at that time. And we went to Sundance. It was about the alleged rape of a stripper at the Delta Chi Fraternity House at the University of Florida in Gainesville. By the way, it's finally streaming online. You can finally get Raw Deal, A Question of Consent, if you come to CocaineCowboys.com, which is Gilbert's second favorite website after GilbertGottfried.com. But we got into this distribution deal. The movie was on the front page of the New York Post, and we get into this deal, and it turned out to be this kind of Faustian arrangement. It was with these really bad folks at a high-profile distribution company.
At 9:20, Ron Brewer will explain Faustian arrangement. Continue.
Yes, there's plenty of stories about that down here in Miami. And what wound up happening is that it was the quintessential nightmare situation. Sundance Dream turned nightmare. They screwed us over, and they wouldn't release.
How long
the
is this
film.
story? Just so I know. I got friggin' Gilbert Gottfried here, and you're going on a story about Sundance 20 years ago.
Here's the thing: they wouldn't release the film, and they wouldn't pay us. And then we're in prison. In Florida, shooting Cocaine Cowboys, and we're interviewing the hitman, Rivi Ayala, who
when does the anal rape part start?
We're getting to that part. But we're interviewing this hitman who murdered dozens of people, and he says to my producing partner, he says, Alfred, he says, what's wrong?
I just wish he'd have killed you right then and there. We wouldn't have had to hear this story.
That's it. It's over.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Tell
them.
right.
I don't know that
it was just picking up.
Get to the bit. Get to the end.
No,
when you stopped him, the whole audience was going, "No, we gotta hear the rest! Don't stop now!"
I had to, Gilbert autographed my DVD of dirty jokes that I got from his website, GilbertGottfried.com.
Okay, now you're not going to get back in
which
favor.
is where I also got my reverse mortgage. And he wrote on the DVD, he wrote, to Billy, stop talking to me, Gilbert Gottfried. That's the end of my story.
That is just fun. You know what I wanted to talk, since we got television here, NBC saying goodbye to Jay Leno. Fallon is going to get the show and move it to New York. Why the hell would he do that? Or why would The Tonight Show move to New York from L.A.?
And a follow-up, why does everybody trash Jay Leno? I'm assuming you've probably been on all these shows.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Why he's become like the enemy of everybody. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Kimmel hates him.
Yeah.
Letterman hates him. I mean, we understand the Letterman-Leno thing. Conan hates him. But where does the comedy world fall with Jay? I mean, he's a stand-up.
I don't know what the general consensus.
Trying to get a quote from you here for the press.
Yeah, I don't know that. But I never understood that thing. Like, he's like the worst person in the world.
Yeah, but Letterman says he's the most brilliant comic he's ever known, but he's also the most...
insecure.
Yeah, and narcissistic and everything else. But, I mean, there are others that say, I love Jay. Now, do you do a show?
I've done a show a bunch of times. I've done all of those shows.
Do you hate him?
No.
Well, who do you like best? Who, if you could be on any talk show, late night talk show, which one would it be?
Jack Parr.
Did you ever do Johnny Carson?
No.
No, before your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I happen to be reading the book, Bill Carter's book, the sequel to Late Shift. You ever see the HBO movie Late Shift about the shenanigans over the Tonight Show the first time around?
Of course, yeah.
Well, he wrote a sequel, The War for Late Night, about Conan's experience attempting to take over the Tonight Show.
Was it all trashing Jay?
It's fascinating. It's not really. It's pretty fair. It's pretty objective. But really, I'm happen to be in the middle of the book now, just as this story is. World War III, they're calling it, is erupting right now. It's really, really fascinating. You should check it out.
Is Jay getting pushed out? Is the network, are they in trouble? Is NBC in trouble?
Well, Jay Leno's number one, isn't he?
He also said that that he's got a deal in his contract that says that if they push him out before his contract's up, they have to give him an insane amount of money.
Yeah, he usually has that.
That would have been a good thing to put in our deal.
You know what he says? He says, you know what
Good luck.
NBC stands for? Not believe your contracts or something like that, or whatever he says.
Well, he's the one who went back after Conan. That's why they all hate him. Because Conan had the show, and then Jay said, "I'll fix this."
Well, that's not exactly what happened. The network offered him the job back. They said they wanted to put him at 11:35, and they wanted Conan to push the Tonight Show to 12:05. And Conan says, "Well, that wouldn't be the Tonight Show. That would be the Tomorrow Show."
Yeah,
because it's starting after midnight, and that would kind of destroy the 60-year legacy of the show. Jay was cool with that. Conan apparently wasn't, and that's where and Conan got $32 million.
So everybody felt that Jay should have just walked away.
Yes, when the 10 o'clock show tanked, basically, that he should have. But that's not what NBC was offering him.
Right.
He
so
said,
if you're Jay Leno, what do you do?
Well, Jay Leno said, "Will you let me out of my contract?" And NBC said, "No. We want you and Conan. We want to do what they did in 2004, which was preserve their entire late night lineup and find a way to keep Conan in by promising him the Tonight Show in 5 years and kind of phase Leno out."
Up next, the Thornbirds.
It is. It's very dramatic. It's good television. And all the ratings always go up during this time when everybody Kimmel did a show entirely as Jay Leno.
I remember
that.
Yeah,
because he was like, Jay is taking over all of the late night shows, and he did a show entirely in character.
Do you want to hear something great, Gilbert? This is a woman being interviewed. It was at Kansas City,
Texas.
Exactly. When hail began to hit.
Large hailstones destroyed mobile homes, busted out windows, and car tail lights.
Man, them jokers was big, size of a quarter, doggone.
Many said it sounded like nothing they've ever heard before.
He said, "Kapooyah, kapooyah!" And that boy, that hell just came in. I opened my door, and I looked out my door and started hitting me in my head. I took out running, ran to my restroom, and then I called my mama to see was she all right.
And she had said,
"Kapooyah!"
That was Barbara Walters.
How could that reporter keep a straight face when clips like that are running?
Oh, God bless her.
That woman does a better Gilbert impression than I do. It's true.
And now Gilbert Gottfried reads from 50 Shades of Grey.
My inner goddess has stopped dancing and is staring too, open-mouthed and drooling slightly. Keep still, he orders.
Where is that from?
I did a video of me reading passages of 50 Shades of Grey. And that's on my website, GilbertGottfried.com.
That is really hot.
Is this wrong? But holy hell, is it erotic? When he hits my I cry out loudly. "Oh, please," I groan. "Quiet," he orders.
Wow.
Yes.
Gilbert, that shows a side of you. Hello.
In the paper today, they still call you the voice of the Affleck duck.
No, they didn't.
Oh, yeah?
Swear it's a.
They're going to sue him for that.
Stand-up guy Gilbert Gottfried, the voice of the Affleck duck, continues to irritate as many people as possible with his with his abrasive tone and combative demeanor.
They really love you.
And you can't get enough of it, they
I
say.
guess that newspaper doesn't read the news.
Right. And from all of us here on the show,
Kapooyah!
Gilbert, did we get the magazines for him? We got a whole stack of magazines for you as our parting gift from the Paul and Young Ron Show. We have the owner of the Dolphins coming on next. Do you know who that is?
Now, could you put that Cub Scout magazine in an envelope, okay?
Boys Life. We got you. Boys Life.
Weird,
no,
man.
but you know who the owner of the Dolphins is? It's Josh Duhamel. the husband of Fergie.
Still walking the orange carpet over there.
He'll be joining us next, but not to talk about the Dolphins, but he's got some show. Gilbert playing the Hollywood Improv. There's nobody funnier. Gilbert Gottfried, like Ron said, abusive, and you can't get enough of it. Get your tickets at 954-981-5653 or at paulandyoungron.iheart.com. There's 2 shows tonight, 2 shows Saturday, and 1 show Sunday. Nothing I can say more than thank you.
Oh, okay. And Billy will trail out doing his story about the time he was in jail.
Oh, God.
And there was a distributor, and they were in jail. It's really fascinating.
Have a good weekend.
You really know how to send a guy off packing.
There you go.
This is the Paul and Young Ron Show.